You may have seen him at my 50th birthday party, but I didn't invite you guys. But he was hilarious, and you're gonna love him. Please clap it up for Marc Ragovin.
Alejandro, my check there yet? How you guys doing? Good. So at the beginning of the year, I was looking for one of these fact of day desk calendars for work. You know what I'm talking about? You know, you rip off a page and every day tells you a little interesting tidbit, like the cheetah's the fastest land animal in the world, stuff like that. And well, the good news is that I got the very last one. But the bad news is I think it came from a defective batch, because this is what I've learned so far. In Wisconsin, lactose intolerance is a hate crime. Every year in the U.S., an average of 15 clowns are seriously injured in balloon animal attacks. To ease his future in-law's fear, rap singer Pitbull told him that his real name is American Staffordshire Terrier. Although Germany and Japan were utterly defeated in World War II, they were still awarded participation trophies. Since 2009, CBS executives have received over 500 viewer letters asking, what have happened to the show without a trace? 88% of the time, when the person that you've asked for directions says, sorry, I'm not from around here, they're from around here. Orville Wright and his girlfriend were the first members of the 18 Feet High Club. During the high inflation days of the late 1970s, many porno films had to limit the money shot to a firm, heartfelt handshake. And due to the Screen Actors Guild high wage scale, the leading characters in today's porno films are nurse practitioners. President Bush thinks a leotard is a mentally challenged lion. Israeli archaeologists recently spotted an 8-foot-long piece of paper with writing on it that they suspected might be a long-lost Dead Sea Scroll, but it was just a CVS receipt. Pharmaceutical commercials in the Middle Ages urged viewers to, quote, ask your doctor about leeches. Duke Ellington followed up the very popular Take the A Train with the less popular Take the A Train, except on weekends during the summer from 12 a.m. Saturday to 5 a.m. Monday. For alternate service, take the D to Columbus Circle and transfer to the NRR, or take the C train to Penn Station and, screw it, just walk. Economic research has shown that 99-cent stores do best when the dollar is weak. Marie Curie's jealous schoolmates were taunted to, quote, get a half-life. There wasn't a dry eye at Aquaman's wedding. On the bright side, the 20 paces put Hamilton over 10,000 steps for the day. Back in the day, Al Sharpton's tracksuits came in the styles mildly indignant, mostly appalled, and thoroughly outraged. Look him up, like 1980. Kids listening, I'm kind of old. Work with me, people. What else? Cats received 15 consecutive Tonys for Most Indifferent Ensemble. and they snubbed the award. Sure, Mr. Ed talked a good game of horse. Bobby Fischer's bishops were long suspected of taking indecent liberties with opponents' pawns. Every year, over 500 lifeguard applicants are rejected for not twirling their whistles with enough insouciance. It's a visual. The first thing that most dictators do upon assuming power is bringing in their own people. Astrophysicists theorize that in a parallel universe there will be a lot of striped shirts. Today's youngsters are so tech savvy, 78% of sonograms are now selfies. Had it not been for the shipwreck, the professor would have returned to his college and taught a 3-hour course. A 3-hour course. Amoeba interested in their geniality can now subscribe to oneandme.com. Most cotton candy is now 50% polyester. The Fountain of Trevi no longer accepts cash. The world's greatest ventriloquist gave his own eulogy. That's good. Houdini attributed his success to thinking inside the box. Every scene in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre began with the director yelling, "Cut!" President Bush used up all of his lifelines on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the "Let's Meet the Contestants" interview section. Auguste Rodin said the key to a successful relationship is to always put the woman on a pedestal. He was a sculptor, by the way. In Iowa restaurants, children's placemats come with a real corn maze. In Florida, it's a felony to compare apples to oranges. In Vermont, every house has a meter to measure maple syrup usage. In a rare display of bipartisanship, California lawmakers recently approved a solar-powered electric chair. It's a win-win in my book. 67% of Alaska truants say they're too cool for school. In New Hampshire, temporary license plates read, "Live free or slip into a short reversible coma." Not my account. As a little girl, Martha Stewart would play in the bathtub with a fleet of toy gravy boats. As a teenager, Martha was notorious for crashing Tupperware parties. Due to pressure from PETA, magicians must now coax rabbits out of hats using positive reinforcement. Zorro's mother had a Z-section. As Indiana Governor, Mike Pence signed the bill prohibiting Mr. Softy vendors from using rainbow sprinkles. In 2012, Pence signed an executive order designating the praying mantis Indiana state animal. In 2013, Pence outlawed the three-way electrical outlet. In 2014, Pence authorized the commission to investigate homeopathic medicine because, quote, it just doesn't sound right. Mike Pence's biggest conundrum? The Sex Pistols. That concludes the Mike Pence portion of the Sorry. Chuck Schumer has an aide whose sole function is to catch his glasses if they slip too far down his nose. Eve often put Adam on the spot by asking if the fig leaf she was wearing made her look fat. And remember, had it not been for the snake, Adam and Eve would have had the mother of all destination weddings. Even better than Indonesia. See, that was a callback to someone I didn't see perform. When William Henry Harrison ran for president, he promised that if elected, he wouldn't serve a second month. In New York City, if the person in front of you unsuccessfully swipes their Metro card 3 times, you're permitted to shoot them. That should be all right. And this is interesting. The North Face has announced that in 2021, it plans to introduce a backpack that will take up an entire subway car. The MTA now defines subway panhandling as crowdfunding. One day after the Dutch purchased Manhattan, the Indians held their buy one borough, get one borough free sale. The most popular housewarming gift ever, thermostat. Let it sink in. Noah brought the ark in for a wash one day before the flood. Willy Wonka took the 1971 Oscar for most health and safety violations in a children's film. 37% of hockey players claim they lost their virginity in the backseat of a Zamboni. Most bookstores locate their mystery section in the last place you'd suspect. Over 750,000 Americans are allergic to styrofoam peanuts. Ooh, I got the 2-minute light, so I'm going to have to speed it up a little bit. Guys, try and listen a little faster. Every year, over 350,000 virtual children are injured by riding in internet shopping carts. It's not the vision. In 1991, ophthalmologists concluded that people should not stare directly at their radios when a total eclipse of the heart is playing. In 1965, the Supreme Court overturned Mississippi's ban of the black and white cookie. Ironically, most Quakers don't have time for breakfast. In Detective Comics number 387, the Riddler finally outfoxed Batman by asking him to solve a problem like Maria. Lou Costello and his wife would often interrupt their lovemaking sessions for a 15-minute routine of who's on top. To spice up their lovemaking, Einstein often insisted that his wife refer to him as the numerator. That's the one on top. I looked it up, trust me. Melinda Gates often pauses during sex to ask Bill if she can opt for a product upgrade. Phil Rizzuto would often take a break during sex to announce Yankee fans' birthdays. In Europe, Fahrenheit 451 was issued at Celsius 233. Before the invention of tear gas, police would immobilize suspects by spraying them with painful childhood memories. Before the invention of radar, air traffic controllers would track planes by opening their windows and yelling, "Marco!" Before the invention of the periscope, every submarine had at least one crew member with an extremely long neck. Before the invention, oh my goodness. Before the invention of laxatives, pharmaceutical companies would scare the crap out of you by bottling your third-grade bully. In his PhD dissertation, Al Roker defended the position that there ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Every year, over 10,000 desperate U.S. couples travel to China to adopt a highway. The first tune that beginner piano players learn to master in China is called forks. The number one reason that most people move to the West... Come on, guys, I got about a minute left. The number one reason that most people move to the West Coast is so during football season they can watch 60 Minutes at its regularly scheduled time. Mike Bloomberg is so rich he once found a couch behind the change in his apartment. After a while, Pythagoras got lazy and just issued a bunch of wild hunches. Here's a little secret. No recorded phone call has ever been used for quality assurance purposes. And people, don't be fooled. Your building's elevator inspection certificate is not on file in the property manager's office. Benjamin Franklin's lazy brother discovered static electricity. Wilhelm Gutenberg's jealous sister invented the shredder. Thomas Edison's obnoxious nephew invented the clapper. Amelia Earhart's last flight was sponsored by Land's End. Most people who visit the Alamo end up forgetting where they parked. Geronimo was terrified of heights. As a boy, Abe Lincoln played with Washington logs. Loitering is illegal in the theater district of Manhattan, but waiting for Godot is not. The Continental Congress started off every day with a continental breakfast. Oh my God, I have 1 minute left. Chris Christie once went to Hollywood and found work as a body triple. Guys, come on, I got the light. Chris Christie's song is a boy named Tiramisu. Christie's favorite band is Bon Bon Jovi. Christie's favorite wrestler was Andre the Giant. Chris Christie is so adverse to exercise he won't even jog his memory. Christie's polo shirts feature a real polo match. Christie has a personal seat license at Pizza Hut. Chris Christie once almost starred in the remake of a classic TV show called Saved by the Taco Bell. To ensure that his loved ones do not get lost, Chris Christie has all of his hot dogs microchipped. All right, I got two left. Alejandro, give me two. Yeah, two left. I gotta get off the stage. All right, guys, I'm done. Alejandro.